Melissa,
Yes,
I hear you have questions.
I do have questions.
Lay it on me. You
First off,
green. Look at your
my
pretty green.
I was going to say, what's going on with this? My first question is, what are we doing in colors? Wait a second, did I see a red? That
Oh,
are not quite representative of this. You did it.
I
This
always have
day.
sun red on a Mars day. Thank you, air brakes. If Mars weren't here on my body, it would be outside.
Well, at least there wasn't a crash.
That's right. That's right. No, but then I put the pink
Oh,
guy
that's
on
so
top of
pretty.
it. Look at how flat. But we're very Venus, you and
I
me.
know. I was feeling Venus today, so I have enough red,
Yeah.
in other places. But and on my neck. Because why?
On my hands.
No, look at your hands. Okay, well, there you go. Because I run hot.
Let's
Bec
talk about Mars. And then my hands go,
That's right.
oh my
That's
God.
right. So, yes, it's lovely. I've got the flowers and all of the beauty, but
Gorgeous.
internally, I am Mars today.
We always got to rep for Mars because if we don't, we'll be in trouble. But
And Mars is in part why we're doing the
it
thing.
is very much so. Very much so.
So, in addition to what are we doing wearing these different colors? Um,
Attracting, like Venus is let me magnetize, let me allow, let me receive,
mhm.
love, money, enoughness.
So, maybe what we're feeling into is is there something going on next week that's very Venus Venus?
You know,
I do know.
I'm very excited about
I'm
this.
teeing you up for this one because I want to know more about it.
What could you possibly need to know about something happening in Cancer? You're
I know.
rising. I mean, what?
I know.
Okay,
Some big info.
look it. So here's Venus, love, money, enoughness. Here's Jupiter, expansion, growth, trust, joy.
So happy in Cancer.
So happy, exalted, Beyonce in Cancer.
Hmm.
And Venus is snuggling up on Jupiter as if to say, hey, baby, do you know that the two of us are the most positive planets of all? And here we are getting together and having a little, like, can we snuggle up?
Everybody wants to be at our little party.
Everybody wants to be at the little party. Let's see exactly when this happens. Let's get us a transiting Venus. Where are you? Getting right on top of our transiting Jupiter. Right there. Okay. When do we do it? On the 11th. So this is Monday. And for those of you who are like, where'd it go?
Oh
The
yeah.
time of day shifted, so the rising shifted, so the chart moved Cancer down here. But
Mhm.
so it happens at 14 degrees 3 minutes Cancer on Monday, August 11th Pacific, but in the wee hours of Tuesday, August 12th Eastern, and I think Central. Yes.
Central.
Yeah. 10:30,
I don't like
12:30,
time
12:30. Yeah.
zones.
Yeah. It'll
Okay.
be the
Okay.
12th.
So the 12th. All right.
Now,
So these two are like chef's kiss.
and the whole time between now and possibly even a couple days ago until the 12th, we have Venus applying to Jupiter. And when things apply, that means they're moving toward getting closer and closer and closer. The pressure of two really good planets coming together is like
Mhm.
the good kind of pressure that you get before almost like a sexual release. It's just like, oh, this feels so good.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what that feels like in that situation. And then in Cancer, which is just like, mm,
So is this happening on anything in particular in your chart? Like, where is this in your
well, it's
chart?
happening in my first house. My ascendant is at 19, so not, they'll be moving into,
But that applying motion,
yeah.
you will feel it apply. You already are. You're
Mhm.
feeling it applying to your ascendant.
Feeling it early, feeling it early.
I get my woo early.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also in your chart, you've got your Venus at 14 degrees.
Oh my gosh. Oh, yes, I see that. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yep. So here's you with
Mm.
a 14 degrees Venus in Libra getting this square of the benefics together. Yummy.
Okay, so question, may I ask a question? Because then I want to ask you a part two.
Love it.
I don't want to womp womp it, but I want to backtrack. But I want to, but kind of I do. I really did well this week with not womp womping people. So a square can be,
Mhm.
is by many people known as the more slash most slash whatever challenging relationship aspect. I have tried, as we've talked about, to see it as with my like square with Mars and Saturn exact. I'm like, okay, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. But what I've tried to do is go, okay, so we have two different personalities. Could we like walk to the lamppost and have a conversation about how we might both get what we need? Does somebody need to take a little more? Does somebody need to take a little less? Whatever. But what happens when you have the same planet transit and natal in a square and they're like the happier places
So let's
planet?
start from when they're not happier and then go to happier. Because the square you have between Daddy Saturn at 22 Taurus and I need to cut a bitch Mars at 22 Leo, that's no joke. You've
No.
got a stubborn Saturn and a hot Mars squaring each other. And
Yeah.
these are the two bad guys of the chart. When you look at traditional astrology, they are the malefics. Mars and Saturn are the two bad guys in the chart that are looking
Mhm.
for ways to create problems. And that square becomes a meeting at a corner where
Mhm.
they're gonna fight. So when you say that in your lived experience you have this natal fight between the malefics, it's almost like one is saying the correct way is structure, Saturn, and the other's going the correct way is action, Mars.
The correct way is you shut up and I'm going to be loud about it in Leo. The correct way is, I mean,
And
get, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Saturn says, I don't care how loud you get, I will outlast you.
I know it's the truth.
Yeah.
So hey, you know how they do those things? It's like, who's gonna win, a shark or
Yeah.
a Tyrannosaurus Rex? Or
Yeah.
a I don't think anyone wins, but that would be an interesting to throw into the ring.
And so what I love to do is I say, so a square is considered one of the hard angles. We have three hard angles, asterisk, because opposition is one, square is one, and then the asterisk is a conjunction is considered a hard aspect if the planets conjunct are not happy about it. Then we
Yeah.
have the softer aspects, which include trine and sextile
Mhm.
and asterisk conjunction when the planets are happy about conjuncting. Okay, conjoining, I know. All right, so let's take a look at this transit that you're having to talk about the square between two positives.
Okay.
First, let's talk about the conjunction between the two positives. This conjunction of Venus and Jupiter. It's what we already said that these two are coming together, going, we are both in traditional astrology, benefics, the opposite of Mars and Saturn. We are, in fact, the good guys of the chart. We are here to bring you luck and faith and joy and magnetic attraction of everything you've ever wanted. So dream big, Jupiter, and then allow yourself to receive it, Venus. We're going to bring all that to your, in particular, first house. That's a pretty big deal. We're going to talk about why it's a big deal in the first house versus like if it were happening somewhere else.
Mhm.
But to get to the question of the square, we have Venus squaring Venus.
Mhm.
When those two come together in a square, your natal Venus is meeting transiting Venus at the corner. And instead of them going, we're going to fight, they go, oh my God, you're so beautiful. No, you're so beautiful. You're so, oh my God, you're
No,
so,
you are. No, you are. No, you are.
exactly. Exactly. And because your Venus is in domicile in Libra, it's
Mhm.
actually telling Venus in Cancer, sprinkle a little extra love on this girl's ascendant. Because in a couple degrees, Venus transiting, you're going to get on Melissa's ascendant. And when you do, give her some of this enoughness that sometimes she forgets.
Ah,
So it's like Venus becomes a messenger for that square, picked up some information from your natal that it can then deliver without it being the square that already is loose orb between your ascendant and your natal Venus.
so what you have here is they meet at the corner. They meet at the corner, but then Jupiter's with them.
Look, I brought this.
Unch, unch.
It's a little bit like there's going to be a dance.
That's right.
There's going to be a flash mob. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. A
Yep.
lovely fat flash mob. Okie doke.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Here's lots of glitter. Yeah. You'll
okay.
probably know Jupiter's coming because of all the glitter. But yeah.
Okay.
Now, why is this a big deal? Because it's happening in your first house. So there is a theory, and I'm into it, that the angular houses feel things more slash hold more meaning for the things that we have natally. Meaning, looking at your natal chart, your first house, your fourth house,
Mhm.
your seventh house, and
Mhm.
your 10th house, using whole sign houses as we are, those four houses are in this chart cardinal signs: Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, Aries. So all things happening to the cardinal signs happen in your life louder than things happening in the fixed signs or the mutable signs, even though you are a fixed sign by sun and
Mhm.
moon. So you got your fixed.
That's right.
You do have it. And your
Mhm.
Jupiter. And you got fixed. Daddy Saturn. You got plenty of fixed.
Yeah, I do.
But all of your fixed is in houses that are less impactful on the whole of your lived experience.
Okay.
And sometimes this becomes a really good thing because we can look at a chart that might have some problematic natal placements, but they're tucked away
Mhm.
in the succeedent or cadent houses. And those being not angular means they don't actually cause the kind of trouble that they would cause were they in angular houses.
Okay.
So, bringing it back to woo weather, because this conjunction on
Mhm.
August 12th is happening in your first house and in my 10th house, also an angle. I'll throw my chart in here.
Yeah.
Okay. So I moved it. It's now in the 10th house because I've got
Uh-huh.
Cancer in the 10th house.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. Look
That,
at
yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's cute. It's cute. And it's applying to my midheaven and
Mhm.
sun, right?
That's right.
It is also applying to a square to my rising and my moon.
Mhm.
So that's cute. Those things right there mean it's going to be louder in my life. This good news is going to be louder in my life and louder in your life than, say, our spouses who I think don't have cardinal on the angles,
Mhm.
right?
Mine does. Mine does. Aries rising.
Oh, he does. He does. That's right. We looked at his.
But that's okay. That's I mean,
Yeah,
I
he
know a
does.
lot of other people who don't.
Yeah.
Yes.
We know a lot of other people who don't. I'm like, I could show you my husband's, but I need to get his consent. Um, but just in general, like if we looked at the chart of the now, that's a good one.
Uh-huh.
Chart of the now is Scorpio rising while we're having this conversation. And so it would put this transit that's happening over here in Cancer in the ninth house.
Okay.
That doesn't mean this theoretical chart wouldn't feel it. It's just not going to be a huge deal. And so this happens a lot when we're having conversations with people about woo weather and somebody's feeling Mercury retrograde so much
Mhm.
more than somebody else. And it's like,
Right.
well, Mercury retrograde right now is
Right.
happening in a fixed sign. Where is that for you? And
Right.
if it's in a angular house, if you've got fixed on the angles because it's happening in Leo, you may be having more of a time with Mercury retrograde
Mhm.
than other folks.
Okay. So when the benefics hang out,
Can we look at the rest of the woo weather though?
yeah, so I was gonna ask, there's a little bit of insulation,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, the stuff up in the attic,
Yeah.
little scratchy. Before that, so what
Yeah.
I've understood is that there's gonna be some like potential crunch, or I think I was calling it jousting before,
Yeah.
and then several days later, it's like, oh, it's a love fest.
So
It takes
Friday, August 8th. So basically
Yeah.
we're bookending the weekend here. We finish the weekend with our full moon and we end up with this amazing benefic meetup in Cancer, 14 degrees, yum. And that's on the 12th. But on the 8th and up until the 8th, we are feeling the pressure of Big Bad Mars opposing Daddy Saturn.
Mhm.
Now you can womp womp. Yeah.
Womp womp. But
Cut.
I gotta tell you, I'm really trying to see them differently. I'm really trying to see them differently. It would be a very imbalanced world if Saturn and Mars did not exist, but it's not fun sometimes.
So let's talk about their relationship. I've said before, because we've got this in your natal chart as a square, Mars says take action and Saturn says have structure. Can't we do both? Is the
Mhm.
question. And an opposition, which is what is happening when we get Mars at exactly 1 degree, 20 minutes, which is where Saturn
Mhm.
currently retrograde is. So we've got Saturn
Yeah,
in
of
Aries,
they.
Mars moving into Libra, which right now Mars is finishing up business at the critical degree of Virgo. That's interesting too.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed the like volcanoes and earthquakes that are just like, oh, hi, surprise, hi, surprise, hi, surprise. I'm like,
Yeah, I've noticed that. I take a screenshot and send it to my husband every time, and he's like, "I know there's a lot of
there's
it."
a lot.
Like,
There's a
"Yeah,
lot.
but I'm gonna show you every time."
Yeah. Yeah. Because can we look at the astrology of it? Oh my God.
Well, yeah, so there's a lot. So I understand what the square is, but in an opposition, what might this look like?
So the opposition is what it sounds like in that we are at opposite sides of this issue that we're considering. And what is the issue? Take your pick.
Right.
For this chart of the moment of the exact opposition,
Mhm.
it will be happening in the ninth house and in the third house. And so we would look
Mhm.
at that axis as the axis of communication and education and using technology to help us connect with people, but also traveling, having experiential learning, not just book learning, and communicating through the ways we teach others as well as the way we mentor or are mentored, and not just soaking it up through school, books, teachers, etc. What is it to share our own knowledge? And so those two houses have similar themes, but completely different ways of doing the things that they do. And so wherever Libra and Aries are in your chart, you're going to
Right.
take a look at the houses for the where this shows up in your life, this opposition. What is the thing that we are seeing differently? It can
Right.
also be because Libra for Mars, relationships, one-on-one relationships, that can be your person, it can be your enemy, it can be a therapist, it can be a coach,
Mhm.
it can be a business partner, anytime we're one-on-one. And then Aries, well, that's all about you, babe. That's
Right.
discovery, new. I want to check things out. I'm curious. It is not about a plus one, but we're now juxtaposing Mars in Libra with
Right.
Saturn in Aries.
And
Of
they're not comfortable in those signs either.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, right, because Mars is opposing the place where it's most comfortable in Aries. Is
so
that
Mars
where
is
we're
in domicile in Aries,
at?
which
Okay.
means in detriment when opposite. And
Okay.
so Mars would rather not be in a Venus ruled sign.
Okay.
Mars would much rather be in a Mars ruled sign.
Right.
Saturn is over here in Aries going, I really like being in the signs I rule, which are Capricorn and Aquarius.
Right.
But if you're going to put me over here in Aries, at least let me show you structure and patience and waiting. And Aries goes, I'm sorry, we don't know those words here.
Right.
And we're about to have 3 years of Saturn and Aries to help us learn how do we find patience and structure and waiting in the
Yes.
sign that is of take action before you even have time to think about it.
Right.
So you mentioned jousting before, and I would love to hear a little bit about what does that look like? The if the two are in a like an actual fight. I'm like in
I
my brain,
mean,
I'm in my brain going to medieval times, right?
right, but I guess it could look really different. Like, what would Saturn be using if we like forget the horses?
Yeah.
Would Mars be driving a motorbike and Saturn be or a tank? Or I mean, I'm trying to like conceptualize what it would look like for Mars to be going for something. And Saturn to like, all right, be maybe more like a keto, like, all right, come at me, but I'm gonna let you race on through and hit the wall. Or yeah, I don't know. Like those are just how I'm trying to visualize how they might be moving toward one another.
Well, and also, we know this about Venus ruling Libra and Mars not being happy there. Mars
Mhm.
loves being in Aries, which is where Saturn is. So is he over there looking at Saturn going, but why are you where I want to be?
Right.
And meanwhile, I got to be here in Libra where I got to people please. Like that's the number one quality of Libra is I got to check and make sure my partner's happy. And if my partner's happy, we will go forward. And Mars is like, fuck your partner, go.
Right.
And
I
so the theme of wait from
right.
Saturn is like wait. It's kind of like I have to do with my dog sometimes. Like, wait. I'm like, this word, wait. And then he'll sit. And I go, a sit is a wait. So I give him a good boy. Mars, wait. Mars
Right.
does
So,
not.
and so neither one of them is right or wrong, good or
Correct.
bad.
That's
It's
right.
so what would a healthy Mars look like in Libra, and what would a healthy, if we're talking, archetype shadows, like what would a more well-adjusted Saturn look like? Is there any way they can give back and forth? And I saw it also like, what if they're on a seesaw and if somebody clunks
Yes.
on it, you know what I mean? Like, does somebody need to scoot up a little bit? Does somebody need to not move as much?
But that takes awareness of others,
Yes.
which I don't know what you know about warring energies.
Well, it's not good, I can tell you that.
They don't tend to look out for how's anybody else's experience
They're
with.
not wearing green and pink.
They're not wearing green and pink today.
No.
No. Um, that war energy that is both Aries and Mars across from Aries right now at the time of that. There's a little bit of this, well, hang on, in Libra, we've got to make sure that everyone's served.
Mhm.
And does Mars accept, hang on, I'm getting that pressure from Saturn
Mhm.
and I'm getting it from being here in Libra for these 2 months.
Mhm.
Could I scooch down on
Right.
the seesaw so this is a little more even?
Mhm.
It could happen.
Yeah. I think it I think that would help us feel more balanced, more well-rounded, more communicative among the different parts.
Like, what if the action Mars takes while in Libra is to please my partner,
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
make partnership more active?
Right. Action-oriented loving someone. Acts
Right.
of service.
Love
You
is a
know?
verb. Love is a verb. Let's do it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And then Saturn and Aries, which is something we're going to get to know really well over the next few
Mhm.
years. It is how do I teach Aries that structure doesn't slow Aries down? it actually allows Aries to move confidently because there is a system, there are
Yeah.
structures, there's a set of rules that keep Aries safe when. So like I'm thinking of just like flying trapeze artists and people, Cirque du Soleil, people who just do these amazing things. And it's like because they
Yeah.
trust the harness works. They've rehearsed it a cajillion D times with all the extras and the rigging and the nets, and then they trust it's going to work without those supports.
It's like the bumpers in bowling
Yeah.
in a way, like we want you to get it there. And
Yeah.
you can run as fast as you want, just throw the thing and we're going to help you. It's
I like
forward
that.
motion and
No, I like that because Saturn's boundaries. So those bumpers are boundaries. I like that.
right.
I like that. But yeah, it's a hard angle. And so here we've got the hard angle leading into the chef's kiss of the conjunction with these
Right.
sweet benefics. So we have a malefic showdown and then a benefic. Let's let's reward the work we did over the weekend.
And this is happening on the what? The
So we've got
eight,
the
eight,
8th for the malefic,
which is a Venus day.
which is a Venus day, Friday. We're doing it Friday the 8th. And of course, we're feeling the pressure of it already today. Having this conversation, we're already feeling that getting closer and closer. And as Mars moves out of Virgo and into Libra, we're going to be like, clunk, okay, there it is. I got it. And then we get to the one that, oh, recently used would have been that one that I was on before. It won't let me go back. What was that? That was the one that is our transiting Venus conjunct,
Uh-huh.
which is going to be on the 12th wee hours for most people
And on a Mars ruled day.
on a Mars ruled day. Well, but it's not Mars until sunrise. So it's
Oh, that's
still
right.
happening on Moon's day. Yep.
Thank you for
And
that reminder.
and by then Mars will have separated enough from
Yep.
Saturn
Mm-hmm.
that he's moved on.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing other shit. He's eyeing this sextile with Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking at, did I do a good job having this trine to Pluto?
Mm-hmm.
He's eyeing the moon, knowing he's about to get to fight with the moon in a few hours, but he's moved on. He's done. He's done
He's
with
gone. He's done.
he's done with Saturn. And just in case people are like, oh my God, this is a lot. Saturn opposes, sorry, you always start with the faster planet. Mars opposes Saturn every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not something new and big and oh my God. And Venus conjuncts Jupiter every year. So it's not this, oh, look at all this wild woo weather. These are
Right.
not like spectacular ooh and ah things that never happen. The
Right.
combination of signs in which they're happening, how soon they are happening one after the other, those parts are unique and
Mm-hmm.
neat. And of course, it's all happening around our full moon because you got to do that, right?
Yeah.
Full moon.
When something happens more quickly, um, and close together, I guess that we have the opportunity to look at it back to back to see what that experience is like, in a relatively short period of time, and maybe depending on a lot of other things, like have a better sense of like, what does that look like? Okay.
Okay, perfect. So the full moon in Aquarius is happening on the 9th, which is a Saturday, in the overnight hours, the 9th of August. Okay, so at 16 degrees 59 minutes. Okay, so here's what just came into my mind as you said that. These things happening right in a row mean we are not eating at one restaurant and then a month later eating at another restaurant and trying to compare the experiences. We are instead at the food court where there's every damn restaurant we could possibly want. And we take our tray to several different ones and get a scoop from each place. And we have to kind of take them as a whole.
Could it be a good food court?
I hope so. Maybe one on
Okay.
like a cruise ship back when that was fun to do. I don't know.
Good. So yeah, what you're saying is like you have not an overlapping, but a more real time. Like you okay, what was this like? Okay, now I'm going to try this out and see this too, so that your memory So that it doesn't happen over such a long period of time that it's slowly shifting.
It does, because the memory fades. That's a function of the brain. We're not meant to have as sharp detail about things the longer it goes. Yes, even you Virgos. And that ability to have distance between the meals means we're
Yeah.
going to describe the one that was longer ago in a generally more favorable way than we experienced it, because that's also how the brain works. That's why we're able to have a child and then have another child, because we go through a thing that we're like, never again.
Right, right.
And then we go, I think that's a good idea to do again.
So what, not should, but what might be something we could do over this 3 or 4 day period? Just like take notes, journal, just
If you have fixed on the angles, you're probably going to feel the full moon more than you're going to feel the benefic and malefic transits.
Okay.
And then if you have cardinal on the angles, join us in exploring what does this mean in the house that's in. Actually, that's something you can do no matter where it is in your chart. What does this mean for the house that it's visiting? What does this mean that I'm having all this good in one place in my chart?
In this part of my life.
Right. Because that formula is the planet is the what, the sign is the how, and the house is where it shows up in your life. So take a look at it, this place in my life in Cancer, in this place, whatever that house is for you, having all this goodness here. What can that mean? What kind of expansion can I allow? What kind of receiving can I do? Can I receive Venus more with more trust? Jupiter. Can I trust receiving more? Which way do you need that to go? Do you have a stronger Venus than a Jupiter, and you would
Right.
want to use this to strengthen your Jupiter so it's also as strong?
And I'm thinking that if people, if this is a lot for people to take in, if they're like, okay, I get some of this and don't get the other, even just observing, like paying attention on these different days and jotting down some notes
Yeah.
about that. And then retrospectively going back and going, okay, now I see what was going on, the other
Let's
way too.
run a highlighter over that, because especially when we're first learning astrology, it is almost entirely learned retrospectively.
Right.
It's, I had a thing that felt like this. What was the woo weather of that moment? Oh, now I see how
Right.
that tracks. That's almost always how we first learn astrology.
And you're like, oh my gosh.
Then you get excited because you see the patterns
Whoa.
in the past and go, so wait, I can get out ahead of this one
Yeah.
a little bit.
Okay. Well, it's a packed weekend with all we're working with the box of 84 crayons. Is that one of the numbers?
64 and
64.
144,
Okay.
I think.
A lot of different shades of those.
One with the sharpener built in. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I would say no matter who you are chart wise, Aquarius, full moon, we want to release things that are the shadow side of Aquarius. And the shadow side of Aquarius is too many ideas, not enough execution, too much focus on innovation and AI, and not enough making it human. How can we release that novelty seeking excitement so that we are grounded, which it's an air sign, so grounded's a weird word about it, but so that we're grounded about how we innovate. What is the way to innovate that actually does serve the human, which is the Leo side?
I was going to say what I've talked to people about is if you're struggling with that, again, axis wise, turn around and look at what's
That's
going
it.
on the opposite side of things.
Say more
It's
about
more
that.
about
Say more
heart
about that,
and
because that is such a fantastic tool, the axis pivot.
right. Well, I could look to Aquarius probably a lot more, and to Capricorn a lot more, because I've, at least for me, being my son is in Leo, and I feel like there's an embodiment of that, and at times I have difficulty detaching
Ooh,
healthily
perfect. And
and looking at things from the 1,000-mile view.
for real.
And in Cancer, when there are struggles there, I have difficulty sometimes getting out of my feelings and caretaking. And so it's beneficial to look at what are the lessons of healthier Capricorn, or, balanced Capricorn. You know, you do some of the things and you don't just feel all the time, and you can have some structure around that. And it's okay to get up and move and go, and just have some structure around the feelings,
Yum.
and be uh, maybe more about, well, I don't know how to say it, not more about self, but someone, versus like about all the collective, it being about, okay, how can I climb this thing? How can I do this thing? And it's not about everybody else all the time.
Oh my God, I love that. This is a good tool, this axis pivot. You're going to write about that, right?
Yeah, and I've done that with some of my clients too. I have a client who has
Good tool.
her moon is, she's in Aquarius, and there are a lot of great things about that, because she's an Aries sun and a Taurus rising. And so I mean, she's got a lot of players in the car, and we just talked about how those can benefit her in different ways, but she sometimes really gets frustrated with the Leo thing. And I'm like, well, what is it about Leo that feels offensive? And is
Mm,
there something about healthy Leo? Like, can your Aquarius moon, beautiful Aquarius moon, turn around sometimes when it's too full of the things that are not benefiting you? And you say, hey, can you like shout out to me and tell me what you're doing over there?
yeah.
You know?
Oh, yummy. See, it's like every sign has a shadow. That shadow side, I mean, there wouldn't be memes about all the signs otherwise.
Right.
Like, we have to have something to make fun of every sign. But honestly, one of the shittiest things astrology did for me was help me understand people that I had been committed to hate. I had been committed to hate them. And then astrology. And I went, I don't get to hate you now. I understand.
No, same. Like, let's take the self and other shaming away. Because people can other people in astrology.
Absolutely happens a
What
lot.
in the world?
Yeah.
Even in astrology.
I'm loving this tool. I'm loving this tool. Where can people find your writing? You didn't know I was going to do that.
I didn't. And also, Substack.
Substack. Okay.
Okay. I don't know all the Substack, Celestial Roots Astrology.
celestialrootsastrology.substack.com.
Thank you.
And it's in the description, so they'll be able to
Oh,
click as well.
thanks.
But it's Leo season. Go get on the newsletter of Melissa Has Questions fame.
Yeah.
This was great. This was long.
I know. I know. Forget it. We're not doing short ones.
It was worth it. Yeah, this was not a short one. We're good.
All right.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you.